Hi. Welcome to Theorist series. Today, we're going to look at an African woman who's going to make some comments about African American women. So, when I saw this, I just saw a few seconds in the beginning. I didn't watch the thing out, so it's going to be a surprise to you and I. As a Caribbean woman, I was like, okay, let me see what I can say from a third party perspective because according to Paul Mooney, we were dropped off from Africa first before the boat got to America. So we think we are better than you. That's not true. Caribbean black women do not think that we are better than American black women. But I have a feeling that this African woman thinks that she's better than American black woman. So I'm gonna make some comments on what she has to say. Let's go.
Let me ask you this: what are some of the things that you would want to tell people? The misconceptions of African women generally, of African people, but mainly women. Let's just say with the women. What is the misconceptions to Americans about African women?
I'll say African women are people who have hearts, 100%. And I feel like coming to America, a lot of like foreigners or a lot of Americans tend to, understand that the wrong way, but they fail to realize that Liberians, it's like when we were kids, our parents told us you get married, you make sure you keep your husband. Like even when a Liberian get in a relationship, they don't want to keep moving from one relationship to the next. Let's just say they get in a relationship this month and they have to get in another the next month. Like they don't believe in that. They believe in being with a guy for years and actually, being with that person for a long time. It's like a fair.
So I stopped it there. Because I want to say, I feel so like I watch a lot of videos online about the manosphere, well, to keep myself in check. And I also watch what Black women have to say. And as a third party, you know, and as a person who is trying to practice empathy on my YouTube channel here, I really feel sorry for black women. Not like sorry, like pitiful, because that's not the kind of sorry that persons need. Sorry as in no one really gives you a chance. No one tries at least to understand where you guys came from. uh yes, there is responsibility that must be held by black American women, but at the same time, when you really think about it, the journey that black American women have had, it has not been a easy journey. It has been a very hard journey. And because it's been such a hard journey, I would like to think that, there must be some understanding of, like she said, her heart is, she has a good heart, an understanding of, yeah, we have good hearts too. Well, you guys have good hearts because I'm from the Caribbean, but from your perspective, you guys can say, you ladies can say, we have good hearts too, but it's hardened by so many things. It's hardened by programming, um by social media, by magazine, by interventions by the government, by disappointments in the men that we have allowed in our lives, by our own trauma with our own parents, by the crack cocaine addiction that happened in the 1990s and 1980s, uh, by our abandonment in so many different other ways, by seeing our own children be racially profiled. We have so much hurt in our hearts that even though we are indeed loving, it's a hard heart. So our love comes across as very rigid.
Too. But this is the thing though about Liberians. They do have the strategies to keeping a good husband. And that's good sex, being committed, making sure you tell your husband you love him, cook, clean,
I
and
did hear
appreciate him
that.
too.
So
So, so hear what this lady had to say first now. Okay, I'm going back into I'm from the Caribbean, as I said. I'm going back into my patois a little bit. Uh, she started with good sex. Now, all the time, Black American women are being told that you are too sexualized. But she started with good sex. Just pointing that out. Just pointing that out. Yes, it is true that other countries that have Black women, they are taught certain things, strategies, how to please a man. And from my perspective, I see Black women in America just being taught how to survive. Y'all just know how to survive. And um I'm not making excuses for any Black man that happened to listen to this video, I'm not making excuses. I'm just pointing out that at some point we have to acknowledge that the Black woman in America is so limited and she needs help. And who is giving her that help? I was thinking about that. So many people bash Black women. Who really is giving the Black woman real help? Even Black women are bashing Black women. I don't see online on YouTube any Black woman coming out here and really saying, all right, I'm here to teach you how to be a real Black woman and not lose yourself and not lose your empowerment. There's one coach is that is toxic. Her own daughter doesn't want to talk to her, so she's not a good example. Who really out here is the ideal example of a good Black woman who is reaching out directly to Black woman? And don't say Michelle Obama, because Michelle Obama, I do not see her coming into the Black spaces and talking to you all. Don't say that.
I did hear that it's a main thing that African women are known to be very deep into their marriage.
Yes.
Would you say what's the word that people hate to say in America? But would you say
Like,
obedient? What would you say? Respect. What's another word that people use? Submissive. Would that be a question? Like, would you
meaning
say that?
like meaning like being
Would they see
obedient
some?
to your husband.
Right.
Um, it's not just about being obedient. You have to make sure the guy is the type of guy that understands too. Because some guy, if you put them in authority, they take advantage of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So why would you obey a God that disrespects you so much? That's where the whole letting the person go comes in place. Let that guy go. There's a lot of good guys around. Yep.
So she makes a good point. You also, to be able to follow, you must also have a guy that is worthy of following, right? And I am not here making my commentary as a Caribbean girl or Caribbean woman, because my tail old. Um, um, as if I chose the right man all the time. Hell no. Let me tell you, some of the men that I have chosen, I am so embarrassed. If I could just duplicate myself and then slap myself for choosing those men, um, I would, because I have made some very bad choices, and these men, to be able to choose a man who lead, um, you have to know that if you find yourself, how to know if you chose a man who's worthy of following. If you find yourself making too many decisions and somebody not telling you, look, this is how we're going to do it, you need to be quiet, or saying, I made this decision best for us, or showing up when there's an emergency for you. If you have, okay, let me put it like this: if you have too much on your shoulders, and I mean with respect to everything, not children specifically, but in terms of how the bill's going to get paid, how, you're going in the grocery store and you have to decide on every food item, right? And Or if you go to a grocery store, like with my current partner, I go to a grocery store by myself, but there is still some sense of peace because I know he mightn't be interested in groceries because he always has to work. Um, and he works for our future. But I know if it is I have an emergency, which has happened so many times, and it's such a good feeling, and I almost lost this opportunity to have such a good man. um he will drop his job if I have an emergency and I am stuck and come. He has done that, especially when it comes to certain things that I can handle, like, for example, my vehicle. You understand? So he might not show up in a grocery store and push a trolley, but he will show up in big ways elsewhere. So I know this thing I don't have on my shoulder. But if you find yourself having every single thing on your shoulder, you know that you don't have a good man. You don't. And I've had men like that. I've had men who I know that if I make a child, I will not have one child, I will have two. You understand? And it was embarrassing. So when they say choose well, note as well that there are a lot of pretenders as well, which is something I disagree with in the manosphere. They tell you choose well, but some people know how to lie and finesse and be like, well, woe is me, my life like this because nobody helps me, or I had such a bad luck or a hard time in my life, and if I had a right woman or a right help in my life, I could advance. And then when you go into their life, they just sit down and watch Love and Basketball like if they're a woman. So, again, as she said, let them go, right? Just let them go. Just take that fella and put it in the wind. Let's go.
I think the next one I would like to say, myth or true, is it that are African women willing to marry a man that has five other wives? Is this a myth or false?
This is actually
Is it myth or
very
true?
true.
That's true.
Because I'm pretty sure Liberians already know about Charles Tiller. When Charles Tiller came into power, he had about I
Who's
think
Charles Tiller?
he was actually the rebel leader that led the war that finished in 2013, 2003. Yeah. But he actually had about five wives. And Liberians, that's I'll say it was probably written in their constitution that a god could have as many wives as he pleases. Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know about the exact historical accuracy of what I'm about to say, but I read a lot of books, and I read. I think his name is Chinua Achebe, but I know his last name for sure is Achebe. Um, um, let me get the right name just now. Achebe. Yeah, Chinua Achebe. Things fall apart, and how the multi-wife situation goes. And I got an understanding of it, and if it's a cultural thing in some parts of Africa, and I think it will work when the objective is different from the objective that the Western society has, right? The objective, well, from my understanding, and I haven't read this book in a very long while, so I am just going on the top of my head. The objective in these types of cases is to build family in a group, right? And women support women in a group. Now, in the Western society, we try to achieve that, but because we are so westernized to the me, I, it becomes a competition. And because it becomes a competition, it doesn't become about the group anymore. It becomes about, oh, I'm going to be the head wife, or if it's the man, oh, I need to be pleased, and oh, I need to be served, you know? And yes, in the Western world, and that includes the Caribbean as well. Don't Don't think that I'm bashing America. Western world, anything in the West beyond the UK. We are selfish people. We are more selfish than a lot of communities that focus on um, conformity, like in Asia, and being part of the group, like in Africa.
And then y'all wonder why so many American men cheat. They are.
But that's not going on no more. Like,
Oh, it's not.
what woman would want you doing that? Come on.
I don't think women would want that, but were they accustomed to just accepting that?
Yeah, that was the religion back then. That
So
was like the culture back then.
That's no longer the case now.
I won't say that's no longer the case because I haven't really been to the countryside, which I'm pretty sure it goes on there. But with an educational woman, obviously that's not the case no more because I'm about to learn all this, like my mom told me years ago, telling me that if you get your education and all of this, your husband will love you and only you. And then I get all this education, then I come and I have to look at the first wife and give her respect, the second wife. Meanwhile, I'm the fifth wife. Like,
Westernization equals Christianization equals monogamy, right? Because, and why I say this is even in more Muslim faith, like in my country, we have Muslims with multiple wives, right? And they don't live a westernized life. And but so westernization with Christianity promotes that, right? And when I say westernization, I mean being trained to be westernized. When we go to school, and she said her mother tells you, when you get married, you'll have a husband and it'll be, I think she said that, it'll be only yours. But it's really the school that is telling you that you must have one husband if you're a woman, and you must have one wife if you are a man, and if you do anything else, it is a sin. And so schooling, westernized schooling, comes at with an educational background that is deep in Christianity and Christian ideals, right? So, like she said, the polygamy, because it has polyamory. Let me say the right one. Polyamory, yes, where the man has more than one wife. Is still practiced in the countryside. So they would be more insulated from Western ideals because they won't be getting Western education, right? And she's right. So when you come out of school now and you are to get married, you don't want to share because that's not what your training is. That's not what your education is.
cool.
Would you date a man in America that was married? And I'm only asking.
Hell no. Hell no. Again, why? Because the objective and the thinking pattern. If it were a man in Africa who has an understanding of the purpose of polyamory based on their religion, I know I will never feel alone. I know I will never feel neglected. I know that there is a chance that I might be there forever. There was even a video with a white woman who married a black man in Africa and joined the other wives. And so, and she looked very ridiculously happy. It's very ridiculous, actually, how happy she looked. And because they understand what the objective is. But if that were to be done in America, the Western thought behind it, the Western thought behind I must be idolized and worshipped and praised will corrupt the point of the polyamory and the polygamy and the poly whatever it is. that you Americans continue to label stuff that the rest of the world can't keep track of. It is, I'm being honest, it is very hard to keep track of all the labels that you guys have.
Because of where you came from.
I definitely will not, and I have my claim onto that. It's because my grandma always used to say this. We want to make sure you have your husband and your husband for yourself. You know what I'm trying to say? Let's just say you meet a white guy who has a white wife. Obviously, he's going to put that white lady first because, first of all, he's basically using you. Basically.
Right.
So
well, most men married men do use to women. To
exactly.
This is true.
And they come up with the sweet talks and all of that. So I'll say no. That's a no. Definitely not. I want my husband for myself and myself only.
So this is an African woman that obviously does not believe in none of those things that they created. She's definitely. Would you just consider that being Americanized? I mean,
with the having multiple wives.
Unfortunately, guys here we have multiple women and we're not supposed to. But if a man is married and has, if you're supposed to be with one man. Mm-hmm. Or one woman, which is the American way to do that by law. Do you agree with that?
I don't, because that's adultery.
No. Being with one.
Being with one?
Oh, you agree with that?
I won't say I got it from America. I actually got it from the Bible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did.
See what I said? And I didn't. And when I tell you, I did not watch this out. See what I said? Christianity. She got it from the Bible. A black woman got it from the Bible. And who wrote the Bible? Well, we could go into all of that race talk about if Jesus is black and white, and why we are worshiping a white God or white son of God, as we could say. But yeah, Christianity is where we get our directives from. And I wonder if, now this is a question that we could ask ourselves: is it possible that men cheat because in their DNA there is polygamy from Africa? Let me state it differently. We as black people, we have our DNA from our ancestors, and we pass things along from generation to generation. Do you think that men cheat because somebody in Africa, before being kidnapped onto the ship, practiced polygamy? And so now we are in a Western society with Western ideals, but our cells are screaming for something else. Personally, I don't like to share, so I don't know about that. But that is a strange question that may never be answered.
It ain't just about America now, you people.
And it's about feelings too. Why would you want a guy? First of all, you cannot share your heart. If you split it, you're gonna be dead. So
that's true. You can't share your heart. If you split it, you'll be dead.
Exactly.
You can express love,
right?
You can't share your heart.
And some guys don't even mean what they say. So
yes, but the definition of love that she is speaking about is westernized love. Love in those countries are about duty. So it has nothing to do with the heart. Not one damn thing to do with the heart. It's about seeing someone who can help build your community in a way that you see beneficial, adding that person to that community and appreciating the contributions that person makes. We in the westernized world have romanticized love, where we say we are, again, selfish. You are mine and you are only mine, and I will not share.
yeah.
Do you find now that you, as an African woman, when they see you and you built naturally and all the above, How do you feel now when you hear, and I'm pretty sure you've seen this living in Staten Island, you see white girls that got body types like yours. Can you understand why black guys are dating women outside of their race, such as white women? Or do you feel you as an individual, you have a little confusion with that because you're like, yo, it's all right here. What's up with that? What do you feel? As a black American woman from the motherland, what do you feel about interracial dating, black man dating outside
like
of
a
your race?
Spanish. Okay, I'll say
Spanish woman too. Spanish woman dating a Spanish woman and a white woman. How do you feel
yes.
about that?
Okay, so this is my claim. I don't know if others have counter claims, but I'll say it's because nowadays in the black community,
Right.
our black women, it's like they feel the need to defend themselves. Let's just say when a guy say, "Oh, don't go here," she'll be like, "I ain't gonna listen to what you're saying. I'm about to go hang out with my girls." You think Spanish girls gonna do that, especially with the fact that they crazy? No. So a black guy gonna go for the Spanish girl that don't really love him but seem to love him, than a black girl who's just being aggressive, fighting you, kicking you out and all of that.
So you feel that black women are aggressive mostly? Do you feel that?
Not every black woman, but this.
So, as they say, and there are many of them in the manosphere that I listen to and I appreciate and I learn from, go where you are loved. Now, while I am in support of black women, we also have to be aware, and even as individuals in our own lives, that despite what has happened to us, we must be in control of our reactions. So while I said at the beginning of the video that black women have faced so much pain and so much hurt, and that is what those things have made them what they are today, it is also up to the black woman to be like, I don't want to pass that hurt along. I want to heal that hurt. I don't want to be the hurt person that hurt persons. And black women have not gotten theirs yet. And that is the biggest challenge. And that is why black men will go where they are appreciated. So I think I'll stop it here. This is a good conversation. If you guys want me to finish this video, let me know and I can finish this video. But she's making some good points that I agree with and some good points that I don't agree with. This is The Theorist. For now, click the notification button to keep up, like and subscribe so you can hear more theories. Bye.